Hello Algebra 2 students, part 1 of section 10-6, the law of cosines. In section 10-5 you studied the law of sines and you learned that when you given the information AAS, angle side, or ASA, or SSA, the ambiguous case, you can use the law of sines in order to solve a non-right triangle. Guys, it is not possible to use the law of sines to solve a triangle with the information SAS or SSS. And you might ask, why can't I use the law of sines? Guys, once you set the proportion of the law of sines, you will find the following. You will find in every ratio of the three ratios, there is one unknown. We don't have a key ratio. So once you do the cross multiply, you will figure out that there are two unknowns all the time, and nobody can solve one equation in two unknowns. And this is why we're going to study the law of cosines. The law of cosines in a triangle ABC with capital letters for the angles and the same small letters for the opposite sides states the following. The first form of the law of cosines states A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus the product of B and C times cosine the included angle between side B and side C, which is angle A. The second form, B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cosine B. And the third form, C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine angle C. You have to memorize these formulas, guys. It's very easy to memorize them. They are not that difficult. Now let's apply the law of cosines in order to solve a triangle with the given information. Side A equals 8. Very important to put the information on the diagram, and side B is always given, it's 5, and the measure of the included angle between the two sides is 32.2 degrees. So guys, definitely we're using the information SAS, two sides and the angle included between them, and you know that the law of sines cannot help. We can use the law of cosines. So the law of cosines states that if you want to find the third side, you should start with finding the third side because we're given two sides, so only one side is left. C squared, remember we're using small letters for sides. C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2 times AB times cosine the included angle between A and B is angle capital C. Now guys, direct substitution. C squared is equal to, A is 8, so the square of 8. Guys, I'm not gonna do any kind of calculation. I'm gonna put the whole thing on the calculator. Plus B squared plus 5 squared minus 2 times 8 times 5 times cosine the given angle C is 32.2. If you put all of that in the calculator, guys, you will get C squared approximately equal 21.3. Guys, you need to take the square root of the two sides in order to find the length of side C. It's gonna be 4.6. So we have found the measure or the length of the third side. Now guys, we need to figure out one more angle. You know guys, the measure of angle B is not given and the measure of angle A is not given. We only given the measure of angle C. Guys, now we can turn to the law of sines. We can turn to using the law of sines. Why? Because now we have a key ratio. Look at angle C and the opposite side. Now we know C, guys, it's 4.6, and we know the measure of angle C. So if you want to find angle B, you can use the law of sines because now the information are enough. So sine angle B over the opposite side B, which is 5, is equal to sine angle C sine angle C. Angle C is given, it's 32.2 over the opposite side C is 4.6. Guys, if you do cross multiply you take the arc sine of both sides, you will get the measure of angle B. The measure of angle B is gonna be 35.4 degrees. 35.4 degrees. So one more angle is left, measure of angle A. Guys, we don't need to use the law of sines or the law of cosines in order to figure out the measure of angle A. We can simply use the triangle sum theorem, because currently we know the measure of angle C and the measure of angle B, so we can add them and subtract from 180. So measure of angle A is equal to 180 minus the sum of angle B and angle C, 35.4 plus 32.2. When you compute all of that, you will get the measure of angle A. It's going to be 112.4. 112.4 degrees. So guys, we have solved the triangle. We were given two sides and included angle, and we have found one side and the other two missing angles. Another example. This time we given the information SSS. We given the three sides. Side A is equal to 8, side B is equal to 9, and side C is equal to 7. We given the three sides, so definitely guys, this is SSS. Once you see SSS, you recognize that the law of sines is not helpful at all, and you're gonna use the law of cosines. The law of cosines, guys, let's start with finding the largest angle, and everybody knows that the largest angle is always opposite to the longest side. The longest side is 9, so I expect the measure of B to be the largest among the three angles. So let's get started with finding this angle using the law of cosines. Guys, what law or what form of the law of cosines has cosine angle B? Yeah, when you start with the side B squared, when you start with B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2AC times the included cosine, the included angle, cosine angle capital B. Guys, this is our unknown because everything else is given. Let's substitute, guys. B squared, it's 9 squared. I'm not gonna substitute this, guys. I'm not gonna simplify. I will put everything in the calculator later. A squared is 8 squared, and C squared is 7 squared, minus 2 times 8 times 7. Everything multiplied by cosine angle B. Guys, you might finish this calculation in easy way in one step and put everything in the calculator, or you may exhaust yourself by doing too many operations. You square, you add, you subtract, you divide, too many operations. Guys, I advise you to isolate cosine B in this way. Cosine angle B is equal to, guys, imagine we moving this term, this whole term, from the right side to the left side in order to make it positive, because currently it's negative. So if we move this to that side and we move 9 squared to the opposite side, we will have 8 squared plus 7 squared minus 9 squared on the top. Remember, when you move this side to the opposite side, it's 2 times 8 times 7 times cosine B, and we need to isolate the cosine B, so we need to divide both sides by 2 times 8 times 7, so 2 times 8 times 7. Now guys, you can put this in the calculator one time and you will get cosine angle B is equal to 0.2857. My concern is not cosine B. My concern is the measure of angle B. How do I find the measure of angle B? By doing the inverse operation of cosine, which is arc cosine or the inverse cosine. So guys, once you have this answer in your calculator, don't remove this answer, just hit shift cosine answer, and you will get the measure of angle B. The measure of angle B approximately equals 73.4 degrees. So guys, we have found one angle in this triangle. So currently guys, we know the three sides and we know one angle. Is it possible to use the law of cosines one more time to find another angle? Oh, absolutely yes. Or you can turn and use the law of sines, because now we have key ratio. We know the measure of angle B. This angle now it's 73.4, and the opposite side is given, it's 9. So we can use either the law of sines or the law of cosines. It doesn't make any difference, but we have to start with the law of cosines at the beginning in order to find one angle. So guys, if you turn to use the law of sines, sine angle, oh yeah, this is our complete ratio, this is our key ratio now. So if we decide to find measure of angle C, for example, measure of angle C, so you start with sine angle C. Sine angle C over the opposite side, C7, is equal to sine angle B, sine 73.4 over the opposite side, 9. Guys, if you do the cross multiply, you will get sine C, and undo the sign with doing the arc sine of both sides. Now you can get the measure of angle C. The measure of angle C is gonna be 48.2 degrees. 48.2 degrees. Now guys, we know the measure of two angles, and basically we are given the three sides, so we're only missing one more angle. No need to use the law of cosines or the law of sines one more time. You can just use the triangle sum theorem. Measure of angle A is equal to 180 minus the sum of the two angles, 48.2 plus 73.4. If you put that in your calculator, you will get the measure of angle A. It's going to be 58.4. Easy. The law of cosines is wonderful and is fixing the gaps of the law of sines. See you in the next part of that section.